Hello and welcome to Ivy Times TV. I'm Sally Turner, joined here with reporter Michelle FlorCruz to continue our conversation about her trip to North Korea. Okay, Michelle, last week we spoke about what you kind of saw and why you wanted to go there initially, but what types of people did you meet while you were there?
Yeah, ahead of my trip, I was really concerned as a lone traveler that I would kind of just be like the only person that went there alone, and a lot of other people would be paired off and have that type of comfort. But I was actually really blown away by the types of people on my tour. Very unique, well-traveled, diverse characters were on my trip. My roommate, for example, on the trip, Tracy, literally doesn't have a permanent address because she's so interested in traveling. She just doesn't feel the need to settle down anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did they have the same concerns as you did going there?
I was one of the younger people on my trip, so I think I had the most concern in terms of safety and things like that, just coming out of, youthful naivety.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the other people were very comfortable traveling. North Korea wasn't necessarily the most dangerous place that they had been.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have traveled to, war zones and things like that.
Wow.
So yeah, North Korea was a breeze for a lot of other people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you kind of expressed that it isn't for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
especially for Americans. What made you come to that conclusion?
I say that because Americans were often the main focus of anti-Western propaganda that we saw and heard throughout the trip. In addition to that, I think the State Department also has a traveling warning for American citizens traveling to North Korea. But for the most part, I think everyone has those concerns, whether you're American or not, whether you're the target of this anti-Western sentiment or not. It's just an intimidating country to go to because there's so little known about it.
Were you ever nervous to kind of speak? Because you do have an American accent. Were you ever like, I don't want them to know where I come from?
I was really honest with where I come from. I am a Filipino citizen, so I told them that. But I also told them that I currently reside in New York and that I was educated here and I live here. So they were pretty open to that too. I think they realized that we're a different generation maybe than all the atrocities that happened to them during the Korean War. But there were some other people who downplayed how American they were, saying they were from Hong Kong or other English-speaking countries that have a lot of Westerners there.
And aside from the US, there have been other countries that have warned their nationals not to go to North Korea. Do you think that was necessary? Do you think that was something the government should have done?
I think it's kind of hard to gauge how much of a real threat North Korea is. There is a lot of fear-mongering out there, and a lot of it is self-perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going as a tourist and you're using the appropriate legal channels, I don't think there's much of a concern in terms of safety. But obviously, on a geopolitical level, of course it's going to be dangerous to fly a plane over North Korea or sail into North Korean waters.
Mm-hmm. And finally, what advice would you give to a tourist who wanted to visit North Korea?
I would say go for it. I mean, the first thing is, knowing that you want to go. I would suggest doing the research beforehand, watch the videos and read the articles about it, but go in with an open mind and low expectations for what you'll experience. And also, I would say for first-timers to go on a group tour. I mean, the people you meet on the trip really do enrich the experience and kind of give you different perspectives to understand the country by.
And also, I wanted to add that in your article, you did say you didn't fall in love with North Korea, but you did have a great time. So what was the best part of the trip?
I think the best part of the trip were the personalities I met on the trip. A mix of the people on my group tour that are foreigners, but also the tour guides that I encountered there. They were a lot more open and, less sinister than North Korean people are often portrayed in the media. And that for me was the most memorable for the trip.
Great. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.